Friends, have you ever felt like you're always the one talking but never really listening? Maybe you have noticed that the people who you admire most are often the ones who speak the less. Well, there is a reason for that, and it's what we are going to explore today. Welcome to our video on how to speak less and understand more. Well, this isn't just about being quiet, it's about becoming a better communicator, a better friend, and a better person overall. So, let's dive in and discover why sometimes less really is a more when it comes to speaking. First, let's talk about why speaking less can be so powerful. When we speak less, we create space for others to express themselves. This doesn't just make them feel heard, it also gives us the chance to learn from them. Think about the last time you were in a conversation where you barely got a word in. Well, how did that make you feel? Probably not great, right? Now imagine being that person who gives others that space to speak. You become someone peoples that everyone want to around because you make them feel valued. But friends, speaking less isn't just about being silent. It's about being intentional with your words. When you do speak, make it count. And thoughtful question you when you ask that shows you are genuinely interested. For example, instead of asking, "How was your day?" try something like, "What was the most interesting part of your day?" This kind of questions invite a more detailed response and shows that you care about the answer. It involves listening with other senses also, as well as giving full attention to the speaker. Well, it's important that the active listener. Friends, have you ever felt like you are always the one talking but never really listening? Maybe you have noticed that the people you admire most are often the ones who speak the least. Well, there is a reason for that, and it's what we are going to explore today. Welcome to our video on how to speak less and understand more. This isn't just about being quiet, it's about becoming a better communicator, a better friend, and better person overall. So, let's dive in and discover why sometimes less really is a more when it comes to speaking. First, let's talk about why speaking less can be so powerful. When we speak less, we create space for others to express themselves. This doesn't just make them feel heard, it also gives us the chance to learn from them. Think about the last time you were in a conversation where you barely got a word in. How did that make you feel? Probably not great, right? Now, friends, imagine being the person who gives others that space to speak. You became someone people want to be around because you made them feel valued. But friends, speaking less isn't just about being silent. It's about being intentional with your words. When you do speak, it counts. Ask thoughtful questions that shows you are genuinely interested in what the other person has to say. For example, instead of asking, "How was your day?" try something like, "What was the most interesting part of your day?" This kind of questions invite a more detailed response and shows that you care about the answer. Now, friends, let's talk about the active listening. This is a skill that goes hand in hand with speaking less. Active listening means fully concentrating on what is being said rather than just passively hearing the message of a speaker. It involves listening with all senses as well as giving full attention to the speaker. Well, it is important that the active listener is also seen to be a listening. Use body language and the gesture to show that you are engaged. Nod occasionally, smile at the person. Well, encouraging the speaker to continue with small verbal comments like yes, aha. Well, another important aspect of active listening is to provide feedback. As a listener, your role is to understand what is being said. Well, this may require you to reflect on what is being said and ask question. For example, what I am hearing is and sounds like you are saying are great ways to reflect. Ask question to clarify certain points. What do you mean when you say or is this what you mean? Well, summarize the speaker's comment periodically. This shows that you are following the conversation and allows the speaker to correct and misunderstanding or any misunderstanding. Now, friends, let's discuss the art of asking good questions. Good questions are the key to understanding more. They shows that you are engaged and interested and they help you to gather more information. Friends, another tip is to ask follow-up question based on what the person has just said. Well, this shows that you are listening and processing the information. It also helps to dig deeper into the topics and uncover more insights. Now, friends, let's move on to the importance of pausing and the reflecting. In our last paced world, we often feel pressured to respond immediately. But asking a moment to pause and the reflect can lead to more thoughtful and the meaningful responses. When someone finishes speaking, take a breath before you respond. Use this moment to consider what they have said and how you want to respond. Well, this pause also gives the speaker a chance to add anything they might have forgotten. Sometimes, friends, the most powerful response is simply acknowledging what the other person has said. A simple I see or that makes sense can be very effective. It shows that you have heard and understood them without necessarily agreeing or disagreeing. Now, friends, let's talk about the power of silence. Many people feel uncomfortable with silence in a conversation. They rush to fill in the words, often says thinking or often saying things they don't mean or haven't thought through. But friends, silence can be powerful tool. It gives both you and other person time to think and the process. It can also create a sense of anticipation, making your words more impactful when you do speak. Well, don't be afraid of silence. Embrace it as a part of conversation. Another important aspect of speaking less and understanding more is a practicing empathy. Well, empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. When you are truly listening to someone, try to put yourself in their shoes. Imagine how they might be feeling. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everything they say, but it also means trying to understand their perspective. Empathy can help you to respond in a more compassionate and understanding way. It can also help you to ask a better questions and provide more meaningful support. Now, friends, let's also discuss the importance of non-verbal communication. Remember, communication isn't just about words. Your body language, facial expression, and the tone of voice all play a crucial role. When you are listening, make sure your body language shows that you have engaged. Face the speaker, maintain appropriate eye contact, and nod occasionally to show you are following along. Friends, your facial expression should match the tone of your conversation. If someone is sharing something serious, make sure your expression reflect that. And when you do speak, be aware of your tone of voice. Well, it's not just what you say, but how you say it that matters. Now, friends, let's talk about the benefit of speaking less and understanding more. Firstly, you will learn more. When you are always talking, you are not learning anything new. But when you listen, you open yourself up to new ideas and the perspectives. Second, you will build a stronger relationship. People appreciate feeling heard and understood. Well, by giving others the space to express themselves, you will build a deeper connection. Third, you will make better decisions. When you have a more information and a better understanding of the different perspective, you are better equipped to make informed choices. Fourth, you will reduce misunderstanding. Many conflicts arise from miscommunication. By listening more and speaking less, you can avoid many of these issues. Lastly, you will become more influential. When you do speak, people will be more likely to listen because they know you are have taken the time to understand and the situation. Friends, the words will carry more weight. Now, friends, let's wrap up with some practical tips for implementing this in your daily life. Start by setting goals to ask at least one thoughtful question in every conversation. Practice pausing before you respond to others. Take a deep breath and count to 3 before speaking. Try to notice when you are tempted to interrupt someone and resist that urge. At the end of each day, reflect on your conversation. And friends, did you speak less and understand more? Ask this question. So, friends, remember this is a skill that takes practice. Don't get discouraged if it feels difficult at first. With the time and efforts, it will become more natural. So, friends, are you ready to speak less and understand more? Give it a try in your next conversation. You might be surprised at what you learn and how it changes your relationship. Friends, if you found this video helpful, please like and share it with your other friends. And don't forget to subscribe for more tips and improving your communication skills. Friends, thank you for watching, and remember, sometimes the most powerful thing that you can say is nothing at all.